This is Kev from Kevin's Corner. Yeah, man. Welcome to my gloat party. I hope you guys had a wonderful day today. I'm sure you have. If you're watching this channel, most likely you are excited about the news that we all received last night. Unlike some people we're going to be laughing at tonight rather, yeah, they're not happy about it. So I want to get right into it because, of course, there's a lot to cover, but I also got to make sure that you guys can hear me. So can you hear me? Is my mic on? And I'm talking about my good mic. I ain't talking about, yeah, let's make sure this thing is in there tight because I want y'all to be able to hear everything. Somebody said, you rock, Kevin. Thank you very much. It looks like we get a new president, folks. Yeah, man, looks like it. Stupid mosquito now. Went from gnats to mosquitoes. How you gonna have a mosquito? You know what? You're gonna have to die, man. You're gonna have to die. I got to let you go. I'm gonna have to kill you in front of the people, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Anyway, they said the sound sounds good, so then let's get it, man. Shoot, I ain't playing around. We got stuff to talk about. Yeah. Like real gorilla, real gorilla, real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Yeah, man. All right, real quick, check out Kevin's Corner store. We got merch there. The number on the screen, 330-974-4607. You can text MAGA to that number to stay connected just in case they get mad at me and kick me off of here. And if you want to donate to the channel, you can do that through my Cash App and my PayPal. Now, before we get into this, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for what he allowed to happen last night. I really think it is nothing but the grace of God and, you know, the prayers of many folks in America that, you know, came through. It really did. I mean, I think he's given us a little more grace. And, you know, when I look at the journey that Donald Trump has gone through, this is why I said this a couple months back. I said, I just don't believe that God brought him this far, and all of us, this far to just forsake us, considering all of the obstacles that defied logic, rationale, normal human being ability to tolerate, you know, and endure. I mean, it was something special about Trump that allowed him to go through stuff that the average man would say, man, I'm not risking all my resources. I'm not risking my freedom. I'm not risking my life. So when I saw him turn and miss, that bullet missed him, I said, that's divine intervention. Now, I just don't believe that God would allow that to happen only to have him lose this election. I mean, when you look at the probability of him turning his head slightly enough just to miss his head, that is like 1 in a trillion. That means his head had to be turning before the guy even pulled the trigger. You know, so when I saw that and I thought the worst at that rally, because, you know, I couldn't see anything at first. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, man, if they kill President Trump, that is, I don't know what's going to happen to the country. And when I found out how he survived, I was like, that ain't nothing but God. Man, if I was in my church back down in Cincinnati, I might get up in the middle of the night, have testimonies of I was there when that bullet rang out. You can't tell me God ain't good. Just at the last second, he sent an angel to turn President Trump's head right at the right time. Man, I might get up and testify. So I thank God for what he has allowed to happen to America. And I also want to thank all of you. I mean, every patriot, every voter, every viewer, everybody participated, all of the conservative commentators that spend time making videos, putting together stuff, sharing videos, debunking these people, dealing with all of the attacks and the censorship. I mean, I I want to give a shout out to everybody. We all, deserve a pat on the back for this, but who really gets the glory is God. Now, with that being said, let's get into how things have panned out before we start the gloat party. Because I want to see how we got here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Start off with this. Yeah.
President Donald Trump, his family and closest supporters taking the stage, triumphant overnight as he was declared the 47th president of the United States. If you went to bed early, these are some of the moments that you missed as he gave his victory speech.
Now imagine the people who went to bed a little nervous, woke up like, oh, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Man, I waited until the last second. My lids felt like two midgets was dangling from them, trying to pull them down. And I'm like, I must stay up to see victory. Must not, when you so dang on tired, you're just using the minimum of words. Must see election finish. Yeah. And when I knew we had it in the bag, I slept like a baby. I couldn't imagine waking up only to find out that Kamala Harris, the cackler, has won somehow. I couldn't imagine it. I was sitting there going, man, just thinking about that just drove me nuts. And so now we don't have to deal with the cackler ever again. We don't have to hear that cackle. I hope she goes somewhere out into the forest like Hillary Crooked Clinton, put a moo-moo on and walk around questioning everything about her life. Stay there for all I care. Don't want to see her on no interviews. Don't want to see nothing from the cackler. So I woke up like, hallelujah. I mean, it was like Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder, sun coming through the window, feeling great. So here's what happened last night. Look at all those wonderful people.
Results poured in and gave him a clear path to victory in both the Electoral College and now the popular vote. President Trump and his family, again, took the stage at his campaign headquarters in West Palm Beach, Florida after 2 a.m. Eastern. His first priority was to deliver a message of unity after an election season with a lot of division.
We're going to help our country here. We have a country.
An election season with a lot of division. Where did that division come from? That's my question. We're going to explore where that division came from and why this gloat party means so much. See, why the gloat party is so sweet. But let's hear his message of so-called division. His message of so-called unity, I guess.
Needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country.
That's not divisive.
We made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that.
After the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason.
Hallelujah.
And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission. The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me.
And
now, how can we believe what Trump is saying? Well, we can believe what Trump is saying because, number one, we got proof based on his first 4 years. Okay, he came and brought everything he could with the resources available to him, and he exhausted all the resources to get his agenda accomplished. But number two is we seen Trump endure 4 years of complete attacks, 4 years that he didn't have to endure. We seen this man go through unnecessary impeachments, all kind of charges, all of that stuff. We seen this man overcome all of these landmines that they threw out, all of the accusations, the 2 attempted assassinations, all of that. Now, if he's willing to go through all of that, you don't think that he's going to get in the White House and say, now I'm going to go buck wild to get this done after what I went through? I mean, what kind of man would go through all of that and then kick his feet back up and say, now that I'm in, just going to go ahead and relax, ride this thing out, just so I can say, look at me, I won. I won. Nope. I think that by going through all of that, I think he even have a greater appreciation and a sense of urgency to accomplish his agenda. But let's go ahead and take a look at what took place last night at the Kamala Harris little shindig that they were trying to throw.
Now, VP Kamala Harris facing some brutal backlash for not speaking and addressing the millions of Americans whose vote she asked for.
Wait a minute. Where are they going? Party ain't over. Jam. Oh, jam. Come on now. Jam. Chameleon jam for me. She ain't jamming. The party's over early. Ain't nothing worse than an early party. You sitting there like, what you mean the party over at 9? I just got here. What kind of party starts at 7 and ends at 9? But look at these people walking out.
Her supporters walked out of her watch party after being told she would not be making an appearance.
Yeah, because of all of that embarrassment. That's right. See, she didn't just get beat. She got smashed. Like I said last night, I said, I want this to be an embarrassment. I want this to be so bad that they can't make any excuses. I want them rattled. I want them confused about what happened. I mean, it's like a team who thinks they're sweet and they get beat like 100-0. They're all sitting there, they're questioning everything. They're in the locker room like, I can't believe we lost like that. What happened? I don't know. Well, let's see if they learn from this beating. Let's see if they're going back and watching film and saying, this is why we took a beating. Maybe we should, rethink some things. We're going to see. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, let's see what makes this party so sweet.
And we begin our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can.
Here we go, y'all. This was before the election. This is why the gloat party means so much. This is why it means so much, because of all of this stuff that they were doing leading up. Now, this is just the tail end. This is the tail end, okay, right before the election. We're not even talking about the years and years of Trump's Hitler, Trump's Mussolini, Trump did this, Trump said that. We ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about their closing arguments in the fake news of why they laid the case for Kamala Harris and against Trump. So really, they didn't lay the case for Kamala Harris. They tried to lay the case against Trump. Let's hear what the evilest, most stinking, nastiest, toilet bowl dumpster juice chick on MSNBC had to say prior to the election.
We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism.
Wow. The projection is real on this one. We need to shine that projector right on that big fat forehead. Look like we could go to the drive-in and go ahead and break out the projector on that 8 head right there. It's bigger than a forehead. So now this big face, apple head, bad makeup wearing chick is projecting all of what the Democrats are about on Trump.
Namely, a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control.
Wow, did she just go through the history book like worst regimes ever? Okay, let's go with the Mao, Hitler, Mussolini, South Africa. This is on regular TV, yo. This chick is trying to lay this case out. Now, when you go that far and you list like 15 different evil regimes that you're trying to pin to a man who was already in office once, don't you think that people might start saying, whoa, wait a minute now, you don't want to go too far with these analogies, with these accusations. I'm starting to think you're just saying this stuff. I'm starting to think you don't really believe it. I'm starting to think you disrespecting my intelligence, trying to make me believe that this man is equal to all these evil regimes.
Or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today.
Now, you don't think we're going to have a good time gloating after you hear stuff like this? See, after somebody been talking trash and been dogging your name, lying on you, and then you win? You mean to tell me all of that Musa, all of that Hitler, all of that Mao, all of that talk right there still didn't stop us? What?
It's a presses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit
all like the Democrats are preparing to do, been trying to do. And if they would have won, they would follow through with all the stuff she's talking about. Everything she's talking about, they would follow through. They would rewrite history. Creepy Sleepy might even find his face up on the side of Mount Rushmore. Kamala Harris would be the first black female president. And Trump would be an evil dictator that tried to overthrow the country and now is in jail for the rest of his life.
A favored and dominant racial class and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends.
How? I mean, did he enrich himself during the first 4 years? Did he enrich any of his friends? Do you see the lies that these people have brought? Now you wonder why. I'm having a gloat party. I don't feel bad about it. Normally, you try to be a gracious winner, but not this time. Not this time. I'm here to gloat. I'm here to gloat. I'm here to gloat, 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 gloat. So let's finish hearing Big Face trash us and Trump.
Michael, you and John and other great historians often talk about hinge days in history, hinge moments in history, and we can go through them all over the last 250 years in this country. This does feel in many ways like a hinge day, which is to say we're going down one of two very different paths by perhaps tomorrow morning.
Yes, and that's what, if historians in the future are allowed to write books, and by the way, that question is open this morning, and if people are allowed to go on television and say what they think in the future.
Isn't that odd? Doesn't that sound like projection? It's great. It's just kind of like they say, you know what? Our closing argument to scare the bejesus out of all of the voters out there with bubble heads is to go out there and simply explain what we're up to. There you go. I'm sure they would be scared to death if they really knew that this was really us. So if we know they would be scared if they knew it was us, surely if we just say it's Trump. Trump's the one that's going to attack freedom of speech. He's going to rewrite history. He's going to do all of that. Surely they will be scared. So all they're doing is going out and telling their people exactly what they're doing and just saying it's Trump.
Future, which again, that question is open this morning. In the future, historians are going to look back on this day and say, this is the day that America made a choice between freedom and democracy on one side and authoritarianism and dictatorship.
And we sure did, y'all. We chose freedom, mommy. Freedom. Freedom. Yeah, that's right. So there he is. Oh, well, look at this. Look, let's see Rachel Madcow's closing argument. Yeah, look what she's up to. And they're talking about freedom, right? They're talking about freedom and, history and dictatorship and all of that stuff. And listen to her talking about what they're going to do to Elon Musk. The Musk, if they win, what they're going to do to the Musk. Now, I wonder why they don't like Elon Musk. Any thoughts on that, guys? Could it be that bum who we just heard talking about freedom and all that stuff, could it be that Elon Musk represents freedom of speech and he blew up their whole little consolidation of the media and all of these platforms? And so they're willing to use the power of the government to do what?
If Trump doesn't win, the Defense Department and NASA are going to need a new arrangement for all their rockets. And for all the multi-billion-dollar contracts Elon Musk's companies have with the U.S. government.
Now, I didn't know that the government should become political and start punishing business people just because of their political views. I didn't know that. That sounds like tyranny. That sounds like an oligarchy. That's what that sounds like, Rachel Madcow. You big, fat, deep state operative, big nose, jolly green giant, man, haircut, having long neck. Dang on it. So you hear her with that crooked nose suggesting that Elon Musk either got to play by the rules or we going to punish him.
The U.S. government is going to have to either, unwind from all of those contracts, or Elon Musk's companies are going to have to unwind from him.
Why?
This is an untenable reality.
Why?
In national security terms.
Why?
Now that we know what we know about Elon Musk.
What do we know about him? We know the man stands for integrity, freedom of speech. Y'all had him on your squad, but blew it. Blew it because y'all overstepped your boundaries. Y'all was supporting all of the censorship that went on Twitter. Y'all were advocates of it. Yeah. While Elon Musk was seeing what was happening, y'all were celebrating it. And when he started mentioning it, then he popped up on y'all radar. Yo, used to love him. Now that man betted everything on Trump. Elon Musk is like, okay, I'm putting all my chips on Trump right there. We got to win this. You know that. We got to win this or else they coming after me next. It would be Trump. If he's out the way, then they would all turn and say, now let's go get the Musk. Let's get him in line or shut him down. So Elon Musk bet on Trump and won. So did we all. And you hear this woman up here suggesting that he be punished. This is the tactics of a real oligarchy, the tyranny, socialism. It's let's find the people who don't support us and punish them for their political beliefs. Let's do that. Why do you think when Kevin from Kevin's Corner opened up his first website, all of a sudden I get a notice from the credit card processing company that I was using. They're saying your political views don't line up with our values. And I'm thinking, so I didn't know that was a requirement for y'all to just do business. Now you think this was back, what, 4.5, 5 years ago? Do you think if these folks win, if they would have won, you think that would get better? You think it'd get better? Now I'm hoping this win will straighten YouTube out. I'm hoping to straighten them out. But let's finish though, because see, they're building my case for why I have to gloat.
Let's talk about gender, Rick, broadly though. Is there, there certainly has historically been, and is there against her case for election, which will rely heavily on women, and the fact that there are more women voters in the United States than men.
Yeah.
Is that running into headwinds because there are a lot of men who just simply, black and white, men who just simply don't trust a woman to be, chief executive, commander-in-chief. They just don't want to vote for a woman.
Yeah, you see that? Now, this was right prior leading up to the election where they start laying the groundwork for an excuse. Could it be that men just don't want to vote for someone stupid? Because Kamala is so stupid. Could it be she's the weakest candidate that y'all ever stuck up out there, with the exception of Joe, who is mentally in decline? So that's not saying much. Could it be that? Could it be that? Or is it sexism? See, this is when you start looking for excuses like what happened. Wait. Could it be this or that, this and that? Well, the fact that you're bringing this stuff up is the reason why we had to give y'all a black eye. Identity politics. When you guys have saturated our whole country with dividing us through identity politics, America's just sick of it. It's lost its impact. Y'all have used this mess to death. Identity politics is always women, men, gay, straight, trans, whatever. This is a rejection of so many things, this election. One of those rejections was identity politics. So now, let's keep going.
Case scenario for Trump map, I still have Kamala winning.
But your keys are pointing toward Kamala Harris. Has anything happened in the last few weeks that makes you feel more confident in your prediction?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. Now, y'all see that last minute psych op they tried to tell us, but you know what? Looks like Kamala's surging. Wow, look at this. But there's a poll that just popped up. I think it was in Iowa. Was it Iowa? I forget what state it was, but all of a sudden she was winning. So all of these little shenanigans they try to pull to psych everybody out and to make us think that, wow. Now, granted, when it comes down to the dirty Dems and their tactics and their shenanigans, don't think I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried about us legitimately winning. I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about some Iowa, yeah. I was worried about some shenanigans. That's what I was worried about. So especially when they kept asking stupid questions like, are you guys willing to accept the results of the election no matter what? No matter what? And I'm going, why are y'all asking this? It sounds like y'all are laying the groundwork for something so egregious and obvious You know, that, oh, okay, that's, everybody knows they just did that. And that was blatant cheating. Well, you guys said that you would accept the results no matter what. So I was concerned about that, but that was the only thing that I was concerned about. Let's continue.
To explain, because I do have the Kamala landslide scenario. And by landslide, I mean that she wins some level of victory in all 7 of the swing states.
A few moments later.
Good morning. It's now 5:35 here in the East. We are allowing all of our stations across the country to join us now with the breaking news. We are projecting at this hour the 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, will be elected to return to the White House. Not consecutive terms, we mentioned a moment ago as we were on our air with our coverage. The first since Grover Cleveland.
Now you see that big fraud right there who did his part to try to rig it during that debate. Now he got to sit up there and pretend to just simply to be reporting. I'm watching, I'm looking at that. We're at 512 rather. Wow, I mean, maybe they're like, well, the election's over now. Let's go ahead and take our, we might as well go ahead and take our thumb off the scale. Let the guys' notifications go out, darn it. But anyway, so this guy comes out and have to read it, y'all. Look at that. Now that was just what, early last night, 279. It might be even higher now. But let's go ahead and see them have to come out and grudgingly, and I mean grudgingly, have to admit that it's over.
Stallion, what are you seeing in the exit polling about the Latino?
The Latino vote.
I wanted to look across all 3 blue wall states that John was just walking us through, looking at this slice of the vote, the Latino vote in the blue wall states. Now, they only make up 6% of the electorate in each of these states, but look at the difference in the margin. So Harris is getting in Pennsylvania 58% of the Latino vote, again, 6% of the electorate, to Donald Trump's 41%. That's a 17-point advantage. But 4 years ago, Biden beat Trump with Latinos in Pennsylvania by 42 points.
Wow. Now look at this. Are you talking about the same Latinos up there in Pennsylvania that y'all were saying, oh, they're upset? I mean, the word on the street is they're just pulling out in droves. After what took place there at Madison Square Garden, because y'all tried to make it a big to-do. Y'all tried to use that to go ahead and make a problem that isn't a problem. So now all of a sudden, look at those numbers. I wonder how they explain that. And somebody mentioned the Amish. You're darn right. The Amish came out in big numbers. Boy, I tell you, man, Trump and his crew put their foot in Pennsylvania, man. So now look at that. Wait a minute. I wonder how they're going to explain all of those Latinos that are upset about Trump and all of his racism and stuff and sending all of them back.
So that is a huge movement for Trump in narrowing that gap.
What else?
Similar story
Show me another
Michigan.
stuff.
You see, the Latino vote makes up 6% of the share. Sorry, not a similar story, reverse. Donald Trump is winning the Latino vote in Michigan with 60% of the vote. Harris, 35% of the vote.
Oh, snap. This is what I was talking about last night. I want it to stink. That's right, though. I don't want this to just be a regular. I don't want it to be a regular beating. Yeah. It can't be a regular knife, okay? That's not a knife. This is a knife. And I want that knife in them deep. Bring it up. I want them to feel it while I'm looking them in the eyes. Like, yeah, you like that? You like that? Now let's see you go out talking about something. Well, Trump, obviously, the Latinos and the other minorities hates him still. That he made no progress. Now they got to come out and cope. Now they got to come out and explain why all these Latinos who supposed to be hating Trump beat her in Michigan. 60%? Oh, maybe their mojo is gone. Maybe their voodoo ain't working no more. Let's continue, because fake crappers want to throw up in his mouth.
That's a 25% advantage for Trump among Latinos. That is a big change when Biden won Latinos in Michigan by 11 points 4 years ago. That's a 36-point swing in the margin. And if you look at this...
Wait a minute, I might speak in tongues. Shama, he came out, coming on a Honda, he tied my bow tie, and I'm back. That is beautiful, man. Did you see that beating? Well, I know they sitting there looking at that. Don't forget the Muslims. The Muslims came out too. Yeah, they turned on her at the last second. No wonder we ain't seen her. No wonder we might not see her for God knows how long. Did she make her concession speech yet? I heard there was a rumor she was going to come out and make a concession speech. Hopefully she ain't like my best friend in high school. He was a linebacker and a guard. And we lost our final game. All of us knew we had scholarships, and he knew that was his final game. That man missed 2 weeks of school. Coach came up to me, where the heck is Greenwald? I haven't seen him since the Camel game. My boy went to the crib, was like, man, I'm done. Lost that last game and spent 2 weeks mourning over it. Oh boy. So I wonder if she's taking it bad like that. Let's see.
Wisconsin, Harris is at 61% among Latinos, Trump at 38%. Again, 6% of the electorate. These margins matter. That is about where Biden and Trump were 4 years ago. So not a lot of change in the Latino vote in Wisconsin, but a lot of change in Michigan and Pennsylvania towards Trump.
I love
Fascinating stuff, David.
Fascinating stuff. Trying to act like a fascinating stuff. No, yeah, it's sick. It's making you sick, fake crapper.
So much. Let's talk about this with my panel here.
Dana Trash.
Your thoughts?
I mean, Pennsylvania and Michigan, in particular Pennsylvania, because there has been so much focus on the Latino vote in Pennsylvania,
Why?
Especially the Puerto Rican population there.
Why?
Since the Madison Square Garden debacle.
There it is. That's why was a lot of focus on it, because you guys made it a focus. You guys took that narrative up there. You guys sent folks up there. We're here from CNN. We're going to play a clip of Trump and things. Do you feel that this made you consider your vote? Did this change your mind? How can you still vote for Donald Trump after what had happened? They made it a big deal. Unfortunately, their voodoo didn't work.
And Donald Trump and the people around him, even though they're not saying it publicly, believe that what that comedian did was not helpful. And yet, according to this exit poll, it shows that let's stick with Trump, that Trump is doing way better than he did 4 years ago.
Are you sure?
With that very population, the Latino population.
Now, Dana Trash, what have you learned from that? What does that tell you? See, I mean, how do you explain an anomaly like that? I mean, I'm wondering if these people are just up here pretending to be, bewildered, shocked. And they probably are, because of all the time they put in trashing Trump, demonizing him, demonizing all of his voters, manipulating all these folks. They're probably like, man, that didn't work. Do you know how many hours of propaganda we put in? How many times we had all the prostitution? Man, I tell you, I wore my red dress out. My high heels now are flats. That's right, I was walking those streets to the point where I'm wearing sandals now. And yet that didn't work. That's the lesson. That should be the indicator that what you guys are doing is not working. In fact, it's backfiring. It's turning people off. But she's shocked that it didn't work because she's in a bubble.
Overall, not necessarily with Puerto Ricans.
Let's look at some of these other key data points. We know race was huge. The black vote was huge for Biden when he won by just a bit in Georgia there in 2020. So let's look at how they are turning out in this election. All right, this is the first time we can break this down among black voters and their support for Kamala Harris. While strong, she is below where Biden was in 2020, 4 years ago.
Now you know who is having a good time right now with some chocolate chip. You know Creepy is sitting up there spinning around in that chair. Did we do it, Jill? That's right. You did, Joe. You did. You blew it all for him. Here's some chocolate chip. That's right. I always said that Joey had one last ace in the hole. So it looks like she did worse than Creepy. They might as well left the first string quarterback in and he stuck. I mean, he was absolutely horrible. All right, so wait. We at 15%? All right, let's see here. That was in Georgia. 83% of black vote just ain't gonna cut it. They need it to be 90 and over.
This number for Biden was more like 91. So she's running about 8 points behind where Biden was with the black vote in Georgia in 2020. All right, I have another data point where I'm going to combine this with gender, okay? So now you look at the black male voter in Georgia. We know both candidates have spent a lot of time courting them there.
Democrats have been trying to convince them that they could be better for the economy. Trump has been trying to woo those voters. Remember, inflation's more than 20% in that state.
25%? Woo! Well, we're moving on up to the east side. So now we hit 25% for the brothers. Oh, and think about this, guys. Joe Biden beat her with the black vote after saying, yeah, if you don't know you're voting for it by now, then you ain't black. And he still beat the chameleon. That goes to show how garbage she is. I mean, this got to be an embarrassing loss for her. It's so embarrassing, and I'm okay with it. I want her to feel it. After all of the division, lies, manipulation, I want her to feel it. I want her to be sitting somewhere like, no, I'm not coming out. Hey, with her raggedy husband talking about, hey, you gotta come out sometime. No, yeah, you go out and address the press. I want her to stick her head in the sand, along with the whole Democrat Party.
With black men, Harris is at 73%, Trump at 25%. Let me give you perspective and context on that.
Yeah, give me some perspective.
Joe Biden in 2020 had this number at about 87%. Okay? So right now, she's running about 13 points with black men behind where Joe Biden was in 2020.
So you mean to tell me Barack Obama's message to all the brothers didn't work? Now I want to talk to the brothers. It didn't work. You mean to tell me sending out all of those booty shaking dancers and rappers didn't work? You mean to tell me blackmailing all of these Hollywood stars and singers to come out and be like, I love Kamala Harris. She is the best, and I support her 100%. Why do you keep looking over there, huh? Oh, no, I was just saying. Because they're over there like, keep going. You know we got on you. I've changed my mind now, and I will now be supporting a candidate that's Kamala Harris. Thank you very much. You mean tell me that didn't work? That is unbelievable. Let's continue, though.
All right, another data point there, Brett, because I know you asked. Black women as well in Georgia. We have been watching this. Yeah. Here it is. Strong showing at 89%, but let me give you the perspective on that. Joe Biden with black women in Georgia 4 years ago was at 95% of their support. She is also running behind with them by about 6 points.
So, they didn't fall for she's the first black female president. She was still under 90% with the sisters. Now, you know it's bad. Oh, man. But see, this is what I love about this. And this is why I said I wanted it to be magnanimous. I wanted it to be big. So this way, they would have a hard time trying to explain all of these folks that didn't vote for her, that fall into the category of who they think belongs to them. They was for sure the Latinos and the blacks and all the other minorities was going to fall in line so they can still boast and say, look at this, Trump's still a white nationalist and is our biggest support. But guys, we got some idiots about to come up during the gloat party. Oh, we even going to give out a gloat party prize. That's right, somebody's going to win. So let's continue.
Independent voters. They make up 31% of the electorate. That is a slightly larger share than what they made up 4 years ago. Trump is winning them by 11 points in these early exit poll results, 54% to 30%. Jake, 4 years ago, Joe Biden won independent voters in Georgia when he won the state by 9 points. So we've seen a swing of 20 points towards Trump in terms of the margin. From 9-point advantage 4 years ago with independents for Biden to now an 11-point advantage with independents for Trump in Georgia.
How do you explain that, fake news? That's what I want to know. Boy, Kamala got those ribs tenderized. I don't think she landed a blow. She jumped in that ring like and got her teeth knocked straight out. I mean, I want to see all the Democrats now start to come to the mic like Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, yeah, it was a tough night. I didn't expect to get beat that bad. Yeah, we don't get no respect. I want them all doing it Rodney Dangerfield. But watch this, y'all.
Wow, they're giant. And Dana, that is really significant. We see some incremental changes here and there when it comes to young voters. She's doing slightly better. Non-college whites, he's doing slightly better. But that independent swing is wild.
It's a huge swing. And I just want to underscore what David said. It is a bigger percentage of the vote share. Last time around, it was 28% independents. I made up 28% of the Georgia vote, and now it is 30%. And I was right, 31%.
Yeah.
And it is a total flip. It's a complete flip.
Yeah, it's a total. How did this happen? It's a total. We did what we were told to do. I mean, we spreaded every lie. We tried to sabotage Trump during the election and the debates and all of that. We pushed every propaganda narrative y'all wanted us to do. We can't understand why it's not working. Total flip. Wow. I love to see them baffled.
Donald Trump is doing so much better with independents than Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden kind of ran away with independents.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that up.
Show me.
Harris overperforming 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything in the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Did you hear fake rapper? Holy smokes. Literally nothing? Literally not one county? So let me get this straight. Creepy beater in every metrics. Oh man, how do you live with that? How do you live with knowing that a man who is in mental decline beat you in every metric? She declined across the board. I know Creepy is sitting back with a stogie. Crack open a Cuban cigar. We're going to celebrate tonight. Oh boy. So she's stinking it up or stunk it up across the board. They should have just kept Creepy for all of that or just ran nobody. They could have stuck anybody out there. But unfortunately, they backed themselves in a corner because they don't really believe in democracy. They don't believe in democracy, see. They knew he was blew out. Let him go ahead and run anyway up until the last minute, only to find out that he can't go no more. And then they went ahead and installed another Muppet because of identity politics, because I'm sure they would have exchanged that Muppet for another Muppet that maybe could talk better, had a better personality, that actually was smart, could do interviews, could answer questions, knew a little bit about the foreign policy, a little bit about the economy. I mean, anybody. They could have opened the DNC door, looked out. Hey, you homeless man with that buggy, come over here. Come here. What do you know about the economy? It sucks. That's right. Okay. What do you know about foreign policy? I know that it's foreign. Good. Come on in here. We need you to run. Anybody would have been better than Kamala, which is so stupid. So now we're about up to the point where the tears are about to start flowing.
It is hard to think of a political comeback that is actually more significant than this one. I'm tempted to say Richard Nixon, but that really falls short.
There's nothing like
of what Donald Trump has achieved.
Yeah, I mean, winning not just the electoral votes, but the popular vote.
See Cisco and Ebert right there. And you see those two Muppets right there, like those guys on the Muppets, the two old men sitting up there. The monotone voice, it is kind of hard to believe that. Now, isn't that odd? These folks up here sitting there, they're dazzled. Maybe they weren't listening to the people. Maybe they were in their bubble and believing the talking points. Maybe they thought that the rest of America thinks like they think in D.C., California, and New York and stuff like that. Maybe they start smelling themselves thinking that they got the juice. And all of this lies and propaganda they were spewing out obviously is going to work. We're the media. I get paid millions of dollars to lie to people and manipulate folks. Maybe they thought that. So now they got to sit up there and act bewildered. And then Anderson Cooper has to make this confession
as well.
Wait a minute. What did he say? Hold on.
That is actually more significant than this one. I'm tempted to say Richard Nixon, but that really falls short of what Donald Trump has achieved.
Yeah, I mean, winning not just the electoral the electoral votes, but the popular vote as well.
A little bit of oh, that's sweet. The popular vote as well. That's what I needed to see. I want them to realize that most of America don't embrace their crazy, stupid, Democrat, Marxist policies. Most of America still got enough common sense to see a raggedy, empty suit that they stuck out there in our face. Most Americans are saying, I know y'all telling us that the economy's great, but something about this don't seem right. Most Americans are saying, you know what, I don't know if I could support a party who don't know the difference between boys and girls. Don't know. I don't know if I could go ahead and support. Most Americans are saying, you know what, women's reproductive rights are the biggest the problem for me. I'm voting for that for my daughters who are like 7 and 2. Who knows, when they get grown, they might need an abortion or two. So therefore, I'm going to vote. Oh, what? I can't pay for them to go to school because the economy sucks. I can't buy them school clothes. Okay, they smell like pee-pee when they go to school now. You don't want to be the pee-pee kid. Smells like tinkle because our water's off and we can't really. Okay, maybe I should have voted for my immediate needs, not that superficial crap. So yeah, all the things that the media tried to tell America that these are important things. Saving democracy. Voting against Hitler. Now, how do they explain that over half the country, the popular vote, voted for Hitler? How do they explain that? See, they at least could have fell back on, well, it's obvious that most Americans don't support Donald Trump. He only won because of the Electoral College. But now they can't even use that? Now, if I was Trump, and if I was the people in the Senate, because we took the Senate, I would go to crying Chuck Schumer and say, hey, Chuck, so should we go ahead and abolish that filibuster now? Yeah, what do you think? Should we go ahead and do it? No, not now, because it won't benefit us, and you guys will run all over us. See, now all of a sudden, they're probably going to want to go back to the traditional, the laws and Constitution and all that stuff. They want to go back to that now, after they got their butts beat. But let's go ahead and get ready, y'all. Shoot, go get a bottle. It's liberal tears time, y'all. Oh, they busted up. Yeah, let me go ahead and wet my whistle. Yeah. So let's see how they're coping, guys.
Kornacki, I just have to jump. Steve Kornacki, I just have to jump in. And you've been predicting this. We've been waiting for it. And we do have some breaking news from the decision desk. NBC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, which means he is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
That's a good thing, right? MSNBC, that's a good thing. You should just say, you know what it is, and congratulations to him, and God bless the country. That's what you should say. But instead, she goes on a pity party. Now, she ain't learned. She ain't learned nothing from her mistakes. Listen to this.
And for so many of you watching right now, that news is, happy, to say the least, exciting, a lot to digest. I understand that personally. After he lost 4 years ago, he refused to accept the outcome and incited a violent insurrection on our nation's capital.
Now, you see that? They just lost. And they're still, at this point, you should just say it ain't worth prostituting myself no more. I mean, it's over. The game's over. I don't need to pretend no more. I don't need to act like these are real issues. But what is this person doing? Maybe she's laying the groundwork for the crazy people after the inauguration, when they want them to tear up stuff and, do all that stuff. Because she's still pushing this crap. And I'm thinking to myself, it's over. Why are you still pushing this as if it's real or you believe it? You haven't learned. It's obvious that it didn't work leading up to this. So what makes you think in your reaction to the loss that now it's going to work? It's too late to work. So now here she is, just simply repeating what we've been hearing for the last 4 years.
He's campaigned while facing criminal indictments related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 results, and he's run as a convicted felon.
All of that was because of lawfare. All of that was psyops, red false flags, All of that was you guys. Manipulation, propaganda, and yet you're trying to throw it out there like it's real. That's the reason Trump just won, because we know everything you're saying was a lie. She don't even get it. She don't even realize it. I mean, she's not even aware enough to know that this is why Trump just won, because of all of this crap. Somebody said no sound. There's no sound. Did the sound go out? Let's make sure. Somebody talk to me real quick. Sound is good? Okay, good. Yeah, she don't even realize that she's the sum total of their own choices. I'm going, this is why he won. Because the stuff that you're saying right now, this unbelievable. You threw all of that crap out there. Remember, he did this, he did that, he did all of this stuff, and this and that. We all were there watching the reaction to every time they accused him of something, every time they indicted him, every time they impeached him, and every time the people start becoming immune and aware of what these folks are up to. And what is she doing?
In his campaign, he has also promised to essentially be an authoritarian leader, to use power like no American president ever has before, and wield that power to go after his political enemies. This is a man who's also bragged about overturning Roe v. Wade and stripping away women's bodily autonomy. He's promised to conduct mass deportations to crack down on the rights of millions of Americans.
What did she just say? Use the power to crack down on the rights of millions of who? Hold on. See? Still ain't done with the propaganda. Don't understand why it didn't work.
Roe v. Wade and stripping away women's bodily autonomy.
That bodily autonomy, like y'all stripped away people's bodily autonomy during the COVID. That's what I don't understand. Get the shot. All of that mess. All of a sudden, it wasn't my body, my choice. It wasn't that. So here she is lying once again. Lying for nothing. It's over. Right now, you're just lying for nothing. And then she says what?
He's promised to conduct mass deportations to crack down on the rights of millions of Americans.
Still, it's in the bone. Yeah, it's in the bone. The propaganda's to the bone. So he promises to deport millions, a deportation, to crack down on the rights of millions of Americans. Last I checked, nobody's trying to deport Americans. The fact that they're being deported means what? That means they're legal. And here she is lying. Crack down on the rights of millions of Americans. Just can't let it go. I know. They're on autopilot when it comes down to the propaganda.
Donald Trump is an anti-democratic force, but he's just been elected.
He's an anti-democratic force that y'all try to remove off the ballot. Anti-democratic force that caused Bobby Kennedy to have to go ahead and side with Trump because y'all stopped him from being able to run. Anti-democratic force that stuck Kamala Harris in there without a vote, and you wonder why you get smoked? Because no vote. That's why she got smoked. But she ain't done yet. She about to get personal and emotional, y'all.
Democratically in our country. And here's what might be the hardest part to hear, but we have to talk about and we have to say, and it is a hard part to digest for all of us.
No, it's not hard to digest for me. It's going down smooth. I'm like, oh, that went down nice. Oh, that's great. The croissant, more steak. So here she said it's hard for most of us to digest. No, it's not. See, once again, she's speaking for herself. Think about this. Trump won a popular vote. And she's talking about this is the hardest thing for most of us. Most of us just voted for Trump.
But we have to be honest about what we saw in this election.
Okay,
Donald Trump was elected by expanding his support over a number of key groups. We've been digging into this all night tonight as we anticipated where this was headed, and I know we're going to dig into it throughout the course of the day today. And there will be a lot of time spent on how and why.
Trying to pretend you don't know what happened. You go comforting each other. Canaries over your head like because of the knockout. So here she goes, y'all. Now she's going to get all.
One, and what this will mean for the country over the next 4 years and beyond. But in this moment, it's also important to remember that our democracy is not built around one person or one job. And I have every confidence that pro-democracy forces in this country will continue to stand up and make their voices heard. That's what we saw.
Yeah, we just did. You're not getting that? They ain't got the memo yet? she's not really realizing that the democracy, that they stood up and let their voices be heard. He won the popular vote, idiot. You can't blame it on white supremacists, white nationalists, xenophobia, homophobia, but they're going to try.
After 2016 as well. Some of those voices will be governors, some of them will be elected officials, some will be institutions and organizations standing up for rights and standing up for women's bodily autonomy and standing up for our climate. Some will be citizens, and many of you sitting at home right now digesting this news right now, some of them will be you.
No, won't be me. Won't be me. I'll be sitting at home celebrating, enjoying the fruits of our labor. So here she is now suggesting the resistance. That's what she's doing. She's going ahead and laying the groundwork for the resistance. I want to see y'all out there whining, protesting, acting like the whole world is coming to an end. And then she brings in her daughter.
I wish I had better news for my daughter later this morning. I know Tim Miller and I were talking about this earlier when she and so many others wake up to this news. I wish I could have called her and told her that the first woman president had just been elected.
This is the best thing that ever happened for your daughter, whether she knows it or not. Best thing that ever happened for her.
I wish that. I won't be able to do that. But what I can do, what I can tell my daughter, and what I will tell my daughter, is that our roles as American citizens have never been more important than they are right now. I can tell her that there are still lots of good forces out there, forces for good in this country, and that they are going to be getting to work.
Okay, so now here comes let me crack my knuckles. And they called me in for a gig. I gotta play. All right, so this is right as people were exiting the building for Kamala, and we got one guy who he don't realize the war is over. He don't realize the war is over.
Shut up, for the community. Let people know we won't go back.
We won't go back. We won't go back. Look at the people. You see him walking past him like, dude, it's over. It's over. Why are you still using the bullhorn? Nobody's turning back around to go back in that building talking about that's not right. We're not leaving because we're not going back. This guy can't let it go. Nobody told him the war was over.
The white coming out here now in China. We won't go back.
We won't go back. Kamala voters. That man right there got something going on up top. Way he talked makes me think he got something going on up top. Talking about we won't go back. No.
We won't go back.
We won't go back.
We won't go back.
We're the Trump supporters out there doing stuff like that. Are we out there doing crazy stuff like that? Even when we lost? See, and they want us to go ahead and, as men, to say, this is the party for me.
We won't go back.
We won't. They're not listening to you, pal. I don't care. I don't care. He don't care. So here comes y'all.
I just came off the Young Turks show where I lit.
Hold on. Something, Kevin, something went wrong in the bottom. What? In the bottom. What's going on there? In the bottom? Okay. All right. I'll be reading your comments sometime. I'll be trying to catch it just in case something goes crazy with the internet. So, guys, y'all know this guy. Stank. Here is Stank out here. Stank is all busted up. Where's the piano?
Get into the Democratic Party. Bunch of losers, corporate Democrats. I hate them. They've lost this election after election. They're corrupt, and they lost, it looks like, to a syphilitic clown. Total moron, con man, Donald Trump.
No, wait a minute. Stank. I mean, I know you're trying to pretend that the party that you voted for is the cause of the loss. So you're saying they're stupid, they're idiots, they're poopy heads and stuff like that, and they keep losing. What does that say? You keep voting for them, Stank. I don't understand. So wait, is it them losing twice makes them, horrible and stupid, or you voting for these stupid people who lost twice to them? Huh? I mean, don't that put you in the category as a dummy too, Stank? And a lot of Americans realize maybe we shouldn't vote for this party. Okay, because they stink. That's the problem. You don't know that they stink.
If you lose to a buffoon like Donald Trump twice,
and you voted for the same party twice,
what does that make you?
You makes you a fool for voting for the same party twice, Stank. Stank doesn't realize. Stank doesn't realize that he's a part of the problem. See, we just woke up and said, maybe we should start voting for these folks. A lot of people did. I was like, oh no. But Stank don't realize that that's exactly why they lost. Because people are saying, maybe we should do something different. These folks have not offered us nothing and ain't accomplished nothing. But here's Stank out here talking about something. They're stupid. They lost to an idiot twice. And I voted for these idiots who lost to the idiot.
We still have an electorate, 70 million plus, that will be voting for a man who said he was going to assassinate for treason the chairman of the Joint Chiefs because he didn't support him on January the 6th, who has said just in recent days he was going to execute Liz Cheney with a firing squad.
Still lying. Still lying. So now all of a sudden, it's the voters. They can't understand why all of us Americans decided to vote for a man who was going to assassinate Liz Cheney and he said he was going to be a dictator. You're using the same lies that made everybody say, I'm going to vote for Trump. But yet, for some reason, he's pretending that these lies are real. I mean, if people really believe these things, you wouldn't have over half the country voting for Trump, Beaker. But you got to stick to the script. You got to go down with the ship by sticking to the script.
9 guns pointed and shooting at the face. A man who has said that he was going to shut down CBS because he didn't like how they edited an interview.
There you go.
Who said he was going to be a dictator from day one.
Day one. You see Beaker and his evil parrot in the cage sitting next to him. Looked like she's sucking on a lemon. Had the nerve to go out there on The View talking about this is it. This is the women got to come through. And now here's Beaker up here spreading the same lies. Wonder why nobody believed him. If they believed he was really Hitler, he wouldn't be in office. They're not catching it. It didn't work. Now they're sitting back just convincing themselves that all of these lies were true. He hates babies. He hates animals. I think he wants to destroy the ozone layer.
Said he was going to terminate the Constitution.
Everything.
A man who said he was going to use the army and he was going to use the National Guard on his political ally.
All lies perpetrated by you guys. Lies by you guys. Coming to you. Theater near you. Lies by you guys. Starring Beaker.
Opponents. I literally could go
on and on with all the propaganda.
You talk to Trump voters and they'll go, he didn't say that.
And yet you talk to Trump supporters and they say he didn't say that. Exactly. Because he didn't. Not in the context that y'all are saying. He didn't say he would be a dictator on day one like y'all are saying. He didn't say he was going to shoot Liz Cheney. Beaker. I mean, these folks, they're only talking to idiots who have not just watched a little bit more of the clips that they were using. Just a little. All it would have taken is about 3 to 5 more seconds for you to realize that these dudes lied. So he surely is not trying to convince us that we, for whatever reason, we don't believe these things. We know the truth. That's why they're trying to silence us. So what else about us, Beaker?
Wait, now I didn't hear him. And then you say, well, here's the quote. And then they'll go, yeah, he didn't mean that.
Of course. And then you say, here's the quote. And they go, he didn't mean that. Absolutely. We know he didn't mean that because we know context. But see, you guys take him out of context and use his quotes to try to suggest stuff that he don't mean. But here he is once again trying to cope, y'all. They all on that stage having a pity party. Y'all, well, here's a tissue for their issues. Wait a minute. Well, you know what? I'm not going to waste a tissue on these bums. Dang on it, but what I will do is the babies, plural, on the bus goes why. That's a warm-up. Here we go.
So there's something far more long-lasting than just Donald Trump, the candidate. There is a sort of Russian embrace of disinformation.
Good grief. Good grief. How much proper can you put in this coat? Did you hear that? He went down the line of lies and then went back, said, now, you know what's going to top this lie off? It's some Russia. Oh, man. They're defaulting back to every lie they ever told, man. So now let me get this straight. He's a dictator. He's wanting to kill people. He's whatever. He's in the, and don't forget, Russia propaganda. So really, this is an attack on us, guys. That's what this is. He's mad at us for not believing the lies. That's what it comes down to. While still trying to get us to, believe the lies. Hey, he's sitting back like, and you guys voted against all of our lies. We told you he was a Russian agent. We told you he was this and that, and you guys disobeyed us and didn't believe our lies.
It's a radical devaluing of truth over the last 9 to 10 years, and a complete ignorance on civics.
And now we're all dumb. We don't know civics. This is why y'all lost. This elitist attitude right here. Now you're throwing a pity party and blaming us. That's why we don't invite you to the parties. That's why you guys are the subjects of the gloat party. So as Beaker, the guy who said, F you. If you don't agree with this, F you. Joe Biden is cogent. He's cogent. So this same liar is now saying that we don't know civics, y'all.
What the term Madisonian democracy even means, what checks and balances even means, what judicial review even means, what the rule of law
even means. Well, I think most Americans that don't even know civics got common sense. That's what they got, Beaker. Seems like they got more than you.
Even means. How do we as a nation, even post-Trump, how do we reach those Americans who
disobey us? Those Americans that have woken up to our shenanigans? Those Americans that now know the Democrat Party is the worst, most selfish Marxist party? Globalists? Those? How do we get back to normal where we can convince folks of our lies and manipulate them and abuse them? And how do we get back? It's going to be very hard because MAGA has now creeped into the bone of America. And if Trump goes in and gets rid of that deep state, that's going to clear up a lot because guess what? They get fed their talking points by the Democrats in the deep state. That'll help clear up a lot. Take away their inside, propagandists and betrayal in the government. So now here he is. He wants to go back to the way things were when we were all walking around like sheep. Man.
Apparently didn't go to civics class.
Oh, we didn't go to civics.
Apparently didn't learn the basics of this Constitution. And have just been overwhelmed with this information over the past 9 years.
So now you're just going to blame us, right? So he didn't blame Pootie. He didn't blame us being stupid. Apparently they didn't go to civics class. And you wonder why we despise these people. Wonder why we don't listen to them. Out here just saying we're stupid. Unbelievable. They didn't go to civics class. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to motivate us to turn around and change our minds.
I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this point.
I know. Look at Raggedy Patty, y'all, with that big red hair. Looks like her hair's on fire. It's hard to digest. No, I want you to digest it. Like nails.
This moment, but you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist.
Oh, God! Now they're attacking Elon. He took away their toy. And they know this union between Trump and Elon is a dagger. Oh, they want to get their hands on Elon so bad. He is, man, I know that dude. He should be in his room shouting. Bring in the organist, the drummer, bass, guitar. Elon should be shouting, burning a hole through his rug. Because if these folks had their way, they would light into him. So now here she is now going after Elon because of what this and misinformation. Now, what's crazy about it is they're really the catalyst of this and misinformation. It's projection. Raggedy Patty, yeah, she's in on it. She's in on it. But now, all of a sudden, the guy who wants to say freedom of speech, he's the one that is pushing mis and disinformation.
Now could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
Of this on this set numerous times is that you have a state.
Barney's back. Oh shoot! The Hamburglar, Grimace. Okay, the Joker. All right. So now this Blueberry is sitting up here with that big forehead, blinding everybody. Okay. That big forehead out here, and here she is.
You've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsiple for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris.
Oh, God. Here's the coat. Here's the coat. That we couldn't have lost because we stink. We got a bad message. We've been lying to y'all forever. The economy sucks. People are seeing all of these problems that came from this administration. Could be because of that. The main race baiter got to bring in race. You don't think we sick of hearing about all this crap? You would think that by now either it works or it doesn't. But here she comes, y'all. It's white women.
A woman, this will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts.
The patriarchy. See, these terms bother us. They're unnecessary. White women, the patriarchy. These are all divisive terms. How about Americans? How about that? So now all of a sudden, guys, it's because white women didn't show up to protect women's reproductive rights and stuff like that. So we go from black men being the problem, white women being the problem, white men being the problem, Latino men being the problem, Latinos as a whole being the problem, Christians being the problem. Who else is the problem? Maybe you the problem, dang on it, big face.
To have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more, party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much
more on race than on gender. The main race baiter who wants all the white people to vote for Kamala Harris because she's so-called black, along with all the black people, she wants to vote for her. Got the nerve to say if people vote based on race. Oh boy. So wait, white women, y'all ain't allowed to vote for white candidates. I'm sorry, white people. According to Joy Reid, you're supposed to, not vote on competency, policies, none of that. You ain't even allowed to vote for white people. So you know what that means. Unfortunately, that means Bob. Oh, yes, man. I told you, man. I told you we was going to do this thing, man. Oh, yeah, man. I'm back. Bob, the stereotypical white nationalist Trump supporter. You hear this black woman out there saying things like the white man supposed to vote for the black so-called, wait, is she black? Is she? Don't know what she is, actually. She's kind of, I don't know, what is she, gray? I don't know what you know what? Don't even matter. She ain't white. That means she ain't right. But I'm dang, man, if y'all try to manipulate us into voting for black folks, just cut they black. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and set aside all of my white supremacy and white nationalism, and side with that Asian woman who said Kamala Harris is so stupid. That's what I got to say. Now, God bless you. Only if you're white. So y'all hear her try to manipulate and guilt white folks. Y'all the reason, women, white women. That's why. So let's go ahead and see what the hamburglar got to say.
Much more that you can do, but tell people what the risks are and leave it to them to do the right thing.
Do you think that Kamala will win? Do you think she's got any chance at this point?
And she hasn't had a chance since Joe Biden stepped down.
No,
honestly, in my opinion, she didn't have a chance. But, she can put up a good fight, I guess. That's what we do.
No, she can't.
You don't sound too optimistic.
No, I was never optimistic. In America, optimism is not recommended. But
now, see, this the problem. Now you got this young black girl law brainwash that in America. No, I was never in America. So why don't you take your doodoo braids, your tight braids in there, big fat noggin, and go overseas? Go somewhere. This is a free country, man. When I hear in America, no, I don't think that. You are free to leave. Why sit around and ruin the party for all of us? This is what I'm talking about. Democrats have created these type of party poopers. Boom, boom. Now she gotta live through life, mad for nothing. Always talking about the white man and America sucks and this and that. But I ain't leaving though. So let's hear her go ahead and cope.
But
she gonna blame it on something.
We'll live another day.
So you think that she may not win because she's a black woman?
Oh, she definitely won't win because she's a black woman.
That's what it is. Not because she's incompetent, stupid, ain't never done nothing right. Ain't never done nothing right. Not the fact that I guarantee you if he was to ask you, what exactly has Kamala Harris done that you actually support? And I thought, what the shoe? She's black. Yeah, so all of a sudden it's because she's a black woman. They need this, y'all. They need this because it's blowing up their whole worldview. They can't understand what just took place, man. So they got to blame it on something, man. It ain't them.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
These Democratic leaders are simpletons. They're servants of the donor class. So they go in there, donor, give me money, please. And I made an ad. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm full of joy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, what did that get you? And they say, oh, Jake, you're too angry. Too angry? What? You think?
There's a...
You hear Stank all mad at the party he's been supporting. Unbelievable. It's fascinating to me. He's no different than Stephen A. Smith, no different than Charlemagne Insane in the Brain, where they all go out there every blue moon, go on a rant against the Democrat Party, and then be like, but I'm going to go vote for him now. I'm going to vote for him. But they're stupid. They're incompetent. They never done nothing right and this and that, but I got to go ahead and vote for him. But yet he can't understand. He can't understand why over half the country, and I'm loving the fact that we got over half the country, the popular vote, that really sticking in to twist it. Okay, what these people talking about? Why they mad? Why they saying?
Shift right. And
oh, look who's on this panel, y'all. Oh, somebody that if I was in his face, I'd make him cry by making fun of him. And I'm talking about tight knees, no base. So let's hear tight knees, no base. All busted up on the inside.
And then there's a shift to Trump and shifting to Trumpism. And, I'm looking at a lot of things, especially after David talked about looking at counties and, how Trump is gaining on what he did in 2020. And to me, I'm mystified in some ways. Simply because we're talking about a twice impeached, 4 times indicted, convicted on 34 felony counts, former president.
There it is. They got these lines memorized. Nobody can say that, that smooth. 2-time felon, twice convicted, 3 times suspect. How's he able to do that? Because these are memorized talking points. They all say it. So here he is, shocked that all of their lawfare didn't work. He's shocked. How can folks vote for a felon? You think we would have really voted for a felon if we didn't thought that he was really a felon? See, this is what these dummies don't realize. They think we're all stupid. He's saying this as if, why are you idiots out there voting for this corrupt, evil criminal? Could it be because we realize he's not a corrupt, evil criminal? Could it be that? Tight knees, no base? So no base is up here shocked. as he's still spewing out talking points for no reason. Right now, these are lies for nothing. Lies for nothing.
That's one bucket.
That's one
then in another bucket,
Here's
you have
another
all of
bucket.
the things he's been saying on the campaign trail.
All the things we've been lying about, what he's been saying on the campaign trail. See, you mean to tell me that they ain't listening to tight knees, no pace? That's what you try to tell me? So now, we done spent all this time saying he's a convicted felon and he's a 3-time convicted and all this stuff. And then we've been saying it, he's been saying all kind of stuff on the campaign trail, and it ain't even working. See, now all of a sudden, I gotta get out here and prostitute myself some more. Even for nothing. Because it's over, tight knees. It's over.
Gets to the decency that the woman was talking about in that last report. And how
that's what we're supposed to vote on. So now I thought, all right, here. All right, how much these groceries? 200. All right, let's see. Here's some decency. That should cover it. Sorry, we don't take decency. Oh, you don't? Okay, well, could you put all that back and restock it for me? I think I'm gonna go ahead and have to pass, leave it here. Yeah, he wants us to vote for decency. Fill up your tank with some of that decency, y'all. There you go. They're coming to go ahead and repossess the car. Hey, easy. Yeah, I was just coming to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. All right, now, here's some decency. Go ahead, go. Why are you still here? Because we don't accept decency, man. But here's Tight D said that that's about decency.
She wanted to vote for Vice President Harris because she didn't like that Madison Square Garden rally. I am mystified that despite all of that,
all of our propaganda, despite all of our efforts to manipulate the public and lie to them and stuff like that, in spite of me coming out here every day embarrassing myself because I ain't got one drop of bass in my voice, it still didn't work.
he's gaining support compared to 2020. And it gets back to something I said earlier at some point, one of the hours. That who are we as a country?
You see that head? Who are we as a country? Now, basically what he's saying is he's shocked. Now all of a sudden, he's pretending that he just got an awakening. That all of these Americans, maybe America is just more dumber than we thought. Maybe they're more evil. Maybe they just love dictatorship based on all the narratives that they just laid out about Trump. Maybe they're all so stupid they can't recognize. They can't recognize that Trump's a 2-time convicted felon that did this to women and all of that. Maybe they can't recognize that. Maybe we're waking up today realizing that over half of the country is racist and white nationalistic. Maybe we're starting to realize that. And I'm shocked. Or could it be that I'm waking up realizing that America still has some common sense folks who have rejected and vomited up our tactics of campaigning by using the same garbage you're using right now, tight knees. So take those tight knees and go home. Take that lack of bass and those tight knees like you got a rubber band around them when you walk. Walk your butt with them tight knees back to the crib.
And we're starting to find out. From what I'm seeing right now, I'm not sure. I like it.
Having said, yeah, he don't like it, y'all. Oh my gosh. So now the indictment, I guess, is all on us and half the country. He's shocked to wake up and realize that half of America is okay with Hitler being in office. There you go. Mm-hmm. Or could it be half of America realized that Trump's not Hitler and they've been lying? Could it be that? I wonder if tight knees, no base ever thought of that. Stakes back.
What percentage is reporting in North Carolina? 76. 76% reporting. You're down by 7. You're in a world of trouble. You're like, yes, it matters which counties, but you're still in a world of trouble. And so much trouble that one of the organizations has already called it. Okay, now let's go to Georgia.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, by the way, Iowa has been called by CNN at least for Trump.
Iowa called for Trump, so there goes that nonsense. I'm getting revved up here on a significant rant. So
yeah, Yeah, Stank knew it was over. I mean, I was loving when they was calling out them states. Yeah, see, I'm gonna have to do part 2 of the Libertarian Party because it was so many of them. There's so many clips and videos. We won't be able to get through all of them in one live stream, y'all. We're gonna have to savor this. We're gonna have to savor it. So Stank's busted up. He realized at that point it's over.
So, because Kamala Harris is not winning, and the people who thought that Kamala Harris was going to win a landslide are totally wrong.
Congresswoman. Uh-oh. Do y'all see that Halloween mask right there? Do y'all see that face that looked like it's been decaying for like 2 years straight? They done sent out the maddest of all of them. Mad Max, the music theme change.
Maxine Waters, a member of the House of Representatives for more than 30 years. Good evening. It is looking like
It's looking like that face is melting right there on the screen. Face lopsided. What is that piece of meat hanging down right there on that side? Can you tuck that into that turtleneck? Something, even it out. All of them wrinkles is coming out the turtleneck, trying to run away from the face. Somebody lift that face, if you can. It might have been lifted too many times. That's the best they could do. Good grief. You got all that money and your face sliding down. Anyway, out there looking like a washed up Black Panther with all that black on. So let's hear Mad Max. Y'all ready for this, Cope? She's about to win. The Party Pooper Award of the night. She's about to win. The Liberal Tier Cope of the night.
America has gone for Trump.
Here we go.
What's gone wrong?
Well, based on the information that we have now, it certainly does look that way. I don't know if this should be described as something gone wrong. Evidently, the majority are basically whites.
Oh, basically whites. Something done went wrong with that face. That's what's wrong. That's the only thing that went wrong. That face has lived too long. You need to go ahead and bury your own face. All right, I'm done with it. The face is done. I'll catch up with the face when I kick the bucket. But I can't walk around with this face on me any longer. The face is dead. Thing on it, but the body's still alive. And she up here talking about something. What has gone wrong is the white. Soon as she said that, that shows me you haven't learned nothing, Mad Max. Going straight back to the well. White, here we go.
In this country, willing to accept a dishonorable human being, someone...
It's only the white people who's willing to accept a dishonorable human being. Well, somebody's accepted that ugly face of yours. Somebody. Your kids, maybe. Husband. That's about it. So she's talking about it's just the white people. Forget all of the blacks. Now watch these people start asking Mad Max some questions that blows up this narrative. Because remember, guys, Kamala Harris got her butt beat. This wasn't no tight squeeze. She got her butt beat. And a lot of brothers and Latinos and others showed up. So how's she going to push this race baiting cope? Here we go.
Who has been convicted. Of 34 felonies.
Same thing. See? Convicted of 34 felonies, 2-time.
Someone who has been openly and brazenly racist. Someone who has, talked about his love for Putin and Kim Jong-un and made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't...
Still trashing Trump? Still trashing Trump, and it's over. So now all of a sudden, I'm going to go down my list of lies and continue, and yet no one has yet asked me about all of those white supremacists, this training up in the back hills of Alabama somewhere. No one has asked me about that to explain it. No one has come out and asked me to apologize for calling all of those men and women on the border the slaves, the drivers that was whipping those Haitians. No one has done that. So here's Mad Max doing what she always do. She's mad, out there pushing lies again, mouth wide open. Look at that. Look like a bass. look like a fish.
This is all why you don't like him, but why's America voted for him?
Oh, good question. Mad Max about to get mad. How dare you interrupt her in the midst of her lying and propaganda? So he said, those are all good things of why you hate Trump, but why did all these Americans vote for him?
Racism.
Oh my goodness. Mad Max, man. Her, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, they're in the top, man, when it comes down to just trashy Democrats, evil women. She just straight said, racism.
And carry on.
Let's hear it again.
Made some statements favorable to Hitler. It doesn't matter.
This is all why you don't like him, but why's America voted for him?
Racism is the basic point. Now, I know that there will be some support from some minorities, but basically, we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered. And it's not about whether or not, people are selecting absolutely based on public policy, or whether or not there's an elected official who's willing to do what's in the best interest of all of the people. It is about folks who are willing to accept him no matter how bad he is, no matter how dishonorable he is.
And no matter how dishonorable. Now, does she not realize she is talking about over half the country? Nala's about to get it. She's about to get it. I'm trying to wrap this show up, and here she is having a fit. Somebody's got to get hurt. Nala, no. Back, girl. I have to come in here again. Somebody's gonna get hurt. All right, so now let's get back to racism and white supremacy and all of those things that people are willing to accept. So let me get this straight, Mad Max. All of these evil, horrible things you're saying about Trump, half the country, over half, is willing to accept it. You're basically saying that all of these Americans got a moral issue. There it is. We're okay with it. And we're all that dumb or brainwashed or racist. They don't even realize what they're walking into. She's walking herself into a right hook right now.
No matter how brazen he is in his racist attitudes, etc. That's what it's all about. People don't like to talk about racism, but the fact that...
What? No, we don't. Y'all the only ones like to talk about it. It was dying, just like your face. But y'all resurrected it. That's all y'all talk about. She went straight to it, right out the box. Racism, white, and you know what? People don't like to talk about the racism like I do, because I'm the designated race baiter.
And the matter is, the majority of his votes are going to come from whites. And that's who has been talking to all campaign about taking the country back.
This idiot don't even realize that at this point, whites are the majority in the country. So of course the majority of his votes are going to come from whites. But she wants y'all to think it's white nationalists, white supremacists, white racists. That's what his votes are going to come from.
Taking it back from whom? Taking it back from too many minorities who are doing too well.
She is disgusting. She is so, the whole Democrat Party spread this type of stuff, and they wonder why they just got vomited up. No self-awareness. Goes right back to the same crap that they've been using forever. Not even stopping to realize it didn't work. She's not able to stop and say, wait a minute, man, if this tactic worked, then that would mean that Trump wouldn't have got voted in. That means that, because America's not a racist country. So you're saying that all of these millions voted for this dude, they're okay with him being a racist. And she's suggesting that I guess we're all racist too. But yet she's throwing it out there because she's not thinking it through. She's on autopilot, and they're about to ask her another question that's going to make her go, hey.
Who are succeeding, who are closing the wealth gap. And something has to be done in his estimation. And so that's what it's really all about.
That's what it's really
not about the economy and all that, people would like to basically hide behind.
Did you hear this fool? Did you hear this wax doll that's got caught on fire, looked like the face melted? Got the nerve to be talking about something. It's not about the economy. It's not about all these other things. It's just about racism. That's what it's about. It's funny listening to him now. Sitting there still making up excuses. That makes no sense. Excuses that make absolutely no sense. It's not about the economy.
It's about white versus others.
White versus
But it's looking possible tonight that Donald Trump has won the popular vote.
Mad Max didn't build that into her race baiting equation. Is it possible that Donald Trump won the popular vote? How's she gonna deal with this? How's the Mad Max gonna deal?
Are you saying that the majority of Americans are racist?
I'm saying the majority of the Americans will buy into anything as long as they believe that somehow they will have more advantage, they will have more ownership, that they don't have to worry.
Like all the idiots that buy into the Democrats' lies and promises that they never fulfill. But wait, that excuse doesn't explain racism. If you buy into something that you think is going to benefit you, like the Making America Great Again, bringing back jobs, closing the border, all of that stuff, that's not racism. And folks are buying into stuff that we can say, Trump actually did stuff about this. He actually produced. So yeah, they're buying into it. But how does that explain the racism? How does that explain that? Because she was so tempted to say that over half the country was racist. She caught herself because see, she's just spent the last 2 minutes talking about racism is the real issue. It's not the economy. And he said, he won a popular vote. Are you saying over half the country is racist? She was like, I'm saying that because she knows if she said yes, everybody's going to go, oh, come on. So now she got a backup strategy out there. We're just buying into stuff that we think can make us better.
About others who will be equal to them. You can call it what you want, but that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
It looks, Congressman Walters, as if he's expanded his base to include more black voters, more Latino voters.
We're racist too.
More people of color this time around. I mean, not more than Harris, but more than last time round. Doesn't that fight your theory?
Well, doesn't that fight your theory? Well, no, not according to Max, because see, Max ain't got no logic. Yeah, she's programmed. She's mad.
Well, I don't know. We've got to wait and see. I don't know what the expansion is. There may be some expansion in the Latino community, but all of this talk about getting black votes, I don't think is true. I do believe that there are Latinos who may favor him because they feel that he has the answers to how to be rich.
Oh my God. She's offending all the Latinos. Where's all the vitriol where they said that? I can't believe she came out and just insulted all the Latinos and their intelligence. So now they're falling for it. They think that he's got the ability to somehow wave a wand and make them rich.
You know, how to be powerful and how to rule. And this is appealing, I think, to many of them.
What a dummy.
And so, I don't know how much he's expanded the base, but I do know this, that his base is huge. It is basically white, and they are voting for him.
It's not the...
Wow. Now that was a cope. That was a cope, man. She pulled right out of her butt. So now it's still racism. And when it ain't racism, because you can't explain over half the country voting for Trump and calling them racist, now it's just that they're willing to buy into anything that they think could benefit them, which, yeah, the reason they didn't vote for Kamala because she didn't present anything that would benefit them. And Trump is and has in the past. And then you close it out with Latinos are, I guess, just wanting Trump to make them rich and this and this and that. And at the end of the day, it's just racism. Y'all see that? And then we got him. Crime van! Bring back
just gotta pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Man, if you don't shut up, Van Jones, I'm sick of these speeches by him. You know, today is a sad day that many people will wake up to. I'm so sick of hearing this big fat baby. So now,
how do we know that those people didn't vote? A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald Trump. Right? That's a good part of the electorate. And black women, the Democratic Party let those black women down. Not Donald Trump.
Thank you, Van Jones. Up here talking about some that women gonna wake up and feel like they have a place, and that they can see somebody who looks like them. There's somebody who will ruin the country, but who cares about that? They look like me, man. That woman of color. I mean, this fool. I want to get a piece of him. Somebody said, "Kid running out of outro." I still got some for crying Van. Hold on, I'm gonna drink some of this tears first though. Oh shoot! I just looked at who's on the screen. Oh man, made me scream. What's on the screen? All right, here we go, y'all. Rocks in the voice. Here come the cushion. So,
how you feel?
I feel great. I feel good. I knew that I would now. Cause I feel good. But let's see how y'all feel right about now, cushion.
My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation arises that we need to protest, which I'm sure it will. And
Of course it will, because the left just protests for no reason. Always mad for nothing. Been convinced that everything's a violation and attack on their civil liberties, but can't explain it. All of that mess. So let's go ahead and see how the View copes, because Sonny is about to come out and insult a whole bunch of people.
Through this before with Nixon. It's been very difficult. But boy, oh boy, do we have a country if we can keep it.
Yeah.
I'm
honestly very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters.
For nothing. You fake Republican.
Yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately.
Oh boy. So now, guys, after seeing them all cope and make excuses, let's see what they've learned as we close out. Let's see if they learn from their mistake. Here we go.
Pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida, and that kind of extreme, sort of extremist, right-wing, fascist type government in Florida. Does that make it a more attractive place? Black voters came.
Learn nothing. Learn nothing. The purple blueberry. Learn nothing. Now all of a sudden, that Florida is extreme. I thought right there. You know what? The fascists, I thought. Talking about businesses won't come down there and all these. Yet all these businesses are going down there. All these people are flocking to Florida. They don't realize that. Same thing. As you're trashing Florida, everybody wants to go there. As you guys have trashed Americans, voters, have you trashed Trump? Everybody voted for him. But you're still going to use the same garbage, right? Ain't learned nothing. Maybe if y'all will stop demonizing the whole country, maybe y'all might have some results. But nope, not them. Let's see what this one. Let's see. Here we go.
Came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
So now, you're telling me you don't realize by insulting and blaming white women, do you think that's going to get them on board? These folks, man, they just, maybe they're just paid to override common sense, override reality. It didn't work. You're calling Americans, racist. You're saying white women's the fault that they just didn't vote for a black woman. And I guess that's supposed to make them vote for her. I mean, it's unreal. Ain't learned nothing. So let's get rid of the blueberry. Oh, shoot. Here's another corpse. Let's see if he learned.
Fooling ourselves saying that Americans are further down the road toward dealing with gender bias and race bias than we thought.
Or are we fooling ourselves to think that all of our lies and propaganda is working and we should continue using all of this identity politics and at some point it's finally going to kick in? Are y'all fooling yourselves?
Think that we've got to be honest. Among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality.
Oh boy, ain't learned nothing. Maybe if you cut the perm off your head, you'll learn. Get rid of the perm so you can learn. But here he is talking about a lot of misogyny. Once again, so we got white women. What else? Misogyny, that's the blame.
That he appealed to this whole false macho thing that some black men and some Latino men went for. I think that...
Yep, there it is. We're that simple. We're that shallow. Us Latino and black men, we fell for it because Trump went to a couple of UFC rallies and stuff. That's what it is.
And we cannot sit around just bedwetting. We've got to deal with the reality, and we've got to deal with the situation as it is in our own communities.
As they don't want to deal with reality. The reality is that America has rejected you guys, your tactics, your lies, your propaganda, your manipulation. We've rejected it. That's the reality. What are y'all doing? Ain't learned from it. Still using that same stuff as an excuse. You're doubling down on being a clown. Doubling down.
The American voter wanted to take their country back, and we will soon see what that means.
And we did.
There are levels of sexism and racism that clearly a lot of people in this country are willing to tolerate.
These people, man, one ear and out the other. So now all of a sudden, over half the country is willing to tolerate sexism and racism. We're no self-evaluation. Well, we ran a raggedy candidate. We tried to use identity politics to pump her up and manipulate people to vote for, and it didn't work. None of that. So once again,
which is also something that, we may have woken up in the same country in a sense, but that becomes much more clear this morning.
The headline was America makes a perilous choice.
Here we go.
I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from
listen to this whopper. Listen to this whopper.
From a Trump administration. But we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry, not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have.
Ain't learned nothing. This woman got a law degree. Are you kidding me? I mean, hopefully she's just prostituting herself and saying that. Hopefully she don't really believe that. But I got a gut feeling that Sonny is a dummy. I got a gut feeling Sonny is a dummy. So once again, she goes right back to the well. Let's see if Miss Piggy learned.
Well, I want to dig further into
no, Sonny's still up. Watch this.
To the demographics, because black women tried to save this country again last night. 92% of black women voted for.
Black women just can't be Americans, right? Y'all would never get anywhere doing this crap. So black women tried to save America last night.
For the vice president. You have Latinas in the 70th percentile voting for the vice president. What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump, uneducated white women.
Oh, God dog it. So not just white women, dumb ones. You'll hear Sonny the dummy basically saying it's white dumb women who voted for this is no self-awareness. This is the stinkingest elitist attitude ever the uneducated ones, the ones without a degree.
It's my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president. Right. So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to deport, says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this, right?
But she ain't taking it away. She ain't getting it. She's not getting it. Sonny just did what cost them the election. Demonized all of these voters, sat back and basically said they're stupid. All of these uneducated white, why do you think these uneducated white women voted against her? Finally, this fake Republican says, well, maybe it's because they're sick of being called uneducated, dumb white. See? So let's check Sonny off. She didn't learn nothing. You're done. Go home.
We have.
Hey, Rev, really quickly, too.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny.
Democrats need to be mature. They need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there is misogyny. Yet that's not honest. They're supposed to be keeping it real. They're supposed to say, man, it ain't had nothing to do with misogyny, racism, sexism, xenophobia, homophobia. Nothing to do with that. It's because of us, our raggedy, crazy, radical ideas and policies, our tyranny that we're trying to, implement in our culture, our attack on all of these conservatives, our destruction of the economy, our attack on the kids, our attack on people's common sense, our foreign policies, our selfishness, our thirst for power, our demonization, our division of all of these people. All of these things, our desire for control, our forcing vaccines on folks, all of those things, that's what's keeping it real, look like, but not him. He said that there is misogyny. What else?
But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men.
Oh, what the?
It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Beaker straight up just called the brothers misogynist. How this white man gonna tell black men how they supposed to. This man called the Hispanics misogynist. Then he said probably racist too. Oh my God, can you believe this? Oh, the most sensitive network, the ones that's fighting for equality. You're not allowed to offend people of color. As this man just insults, unbelievable. Look at this slime ball right here, agreeing.
They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. The Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say,
yes, they do.
White people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before. A lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates.
A lot of with other Hispanics, you got some that don't like each other, and some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on in this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic.
Do you see this? And they wonder why. They wonder why 45%, down up from 32. They wonder why. So now we got men that's misogynist, black men and Asians, Latinos, racist against black folks and their own folks. All of this. This is supposed to be a real network. And they chimed out. This is supposed to be a real network. And they're over here, trying to rehash what happened as they sit back and just demonize. Once again, they're doubling down on the demonization. Double on a demon. Unbelievable.
And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
And that was a real honest conversation? That's what that was? I'm glad they lost. I'm glad they got to sit here and, just berate themselves again, try to make it seem like, oh, we're not garbage. We're not the problem. There got to be all these other things. All they're doing is making fools of themselves so I can laugh at them.
Ill, honest conversation. We saw her crowds, and then we saw his crowds at the end. Let us hear forth, and if we can put it in stone, if we can hear forth, discount crowd sizes as an indicator on who's going to win a presidential election, because this year it didn't matter.
Yes. This darn dummy. Are you kidding me? Trump consistently had 30, 40, 50,000 people. She had a couple decent crowds that was manipulated into coming to see her. And he's trying to make it seem like, well, her crowd sizes were bigger than his. So based on crowd size, she should have won. He is a walking infestation of lies and propaganda. Walking, man. And then you got Simone with the dome coming in.
I do have an indictment of some of the strategy. And again, the people that said Joe Biden was the problem.
Creepy?
Where's my camera?
He was not the solution. He was not the solution.
I will just note that it is probably not the best idea that Democrats orchestrated a very public stab fest, a proverbial stabbing in the front of the sitting president of the United States of America, and then didn't use him in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh my! So wait a minute. Now somebody now trying to keep it real. That's about the realest thing I've heard. So yeah, now she comes out and said, basically a coup. That's what happened. A coup. Now, granted, it wouldn't have made a difference if you'd have kept creepy in or not, but at least she's able to recognize it was a coup.
I will defer to Mr. Lewis.
So her introduction to the country went well. The convention was a success.
In denial about all of this stuff. They ain't learned nothing. Her introduction for herself went well. No, it didn't. Y'all helped her and then lied about it all. Everybody's excited. The convention sucked.
Her convention speech was a success.
That sucked.
And she crushed him in the debate, and she closed stronger than he did. To your point, she hit her marks. Did she make some mistakes?
Denial.
Every candidate makes mistakes, and Trump's mistakes were way bigger than her mistakes, which brings you back to the fundamental question, which is, she was the sitting vice president for a president who had been, his approval rating had been hovering in between 38 and 40% for 2 years.
Yeah. And she wasn't able to differentiate herself from him. She's the dummy. They came out and said, I wouldn't do nothing different. She's the dummy. When they asked her about the debacle at the border, and she said, I think we handled it the right way. She's the dummy. So I'm so glad I ain't got to look at the dummy no more. And she could take Tampon with her. Her and Tampon is gone. In denial. Ain't learned nothing.
Not all working class voters are members of unions, right? And so there's a huge portion that correct. And I think that gets overlooked. And while we can all say, but Donald Trump does absolutely nothing for them, that's true from a policy perspective.
Denial. Donald Trump does nothing for them. That's true from a policy perspective. Denial.
But they look around and somehow still they feel connected with his personality. They like the way he speaks.
That's it.
And he speaks to them and says, you are forgotten. You know what Joe Biden did? He forgave student loan debt for college educated people who have all sorts of job opportunities. You continue to be forgotten.
You've actually worked in Republican.
Now we're going to close with this dose of reality to these dummies because they just don't learn, y'all. Now they done went through all the stages of grief. They was whining, throwing a pity party, blaming this and this and that. Now all of a sudden, you know what? It's because of this. It's because of that. So let's get a guy who used to work for the Republicans. He got his opinion on it, and we'll close with him. Here we go.
Republican circles. What is going wrong here on that front?
Yeah, tell us.
And I just think the Democrats right now have to just reckon with the fact that there's a fundamental brand problem with the party as far as not reaching like huge swaths of the country. Jim listed a couple of them with rural and Hispanics. But if you look at the exit polls, Trump gained with every demographic group except college-educated women. Everyone. Black men, Hispanic men and Hispanic women, non-college women. So it wasn't really even a race and gender thing in particular. It was what?
It wasn't really a race and gender thing in particular. Even though we just listened to a montage of all of these people blaming race, gender, sex, all of that stuff. So wait, you're giving them a dose. Hopefully they're listening.
widespread, and there's a brand issue. To your reference about my kind of time at the Republican Party, I look back at 2012 when we lost with Romney, right? And afterwards we did the autopsy and we looked at it and we're like, we need to fix this little thing or that little thing, and that might make the difference if we reached out to this group more or that group. The reality was that the Romney-Ryan party did not appeal to broad swaths of the country. It did not appeal to black and brown Americans. It also didn't really appeal that much to working class Americans. Obama cut into his margins there. That's where the Democrats are right now. They get so when you say communicate, yeah, but it's more like we got to figure out how to talk to them. It's not about like a talking points. Like Democrats have to think about how their brand is resonating outside of college educated, urban and suburban, white.
And they're not learning. In other words, they have learned nothing. We see how they talk to them. White nationalists, the stupid white women, the men, black men, are misogynistic, the Puerto Rican men, Latinos, they're misogynists. It's all because of everything except for us. No self-reflection, which I'm okay with, because I want to see that party go away. I want to see that party just vanish. They are a cancer. That party is a cancer. And that's the single greatest threat to our democracy, which is our republic, ever. So now we got us a chance, y'all. Oh, yeah. We got us a chance. And I'm praying that Trump and his squad come in chopping up all kind of stuff. I want to see butts flying. I want to see folks running out screaming like somebody just came in and cast out demons. I want to see all of these deep state holdovers and actors, all of these folks that conspired. I want to see them exposed, man. I want to see the government streamlined. I want to see us get out of all these stupid, unnecessary skirmishes overseas. Stop sending money. I want to see our economy come back because Trump's holding folks accountable when it comes down to trade. I want to see all of that. Good common sense policies. I want to see some law and order in the streets. I want to see that border closed. And I want to see these folks deported. I want to see all of that. I want to see our schools go back to teaching, the real fundamentals instead of teaching about your gender 82. If you want to be, it's up to you. But don't tell your parents I told you you're gender 82. I want to see that. And I want to see it come back in such a way that people fall in love with these policies and these changes to where they reject the Democrat Party in the future. I don't want to see them even try to make a comeback. I want to see them continually start fading off into the sunset somewhere. I don't want to come back. I want everybody to say, man, we like what we see so much and we've gotten used to this so much. When y'all come in talking about, well, we're going to provide now this, automatically, I want to, nope, get out of here. We don't want to keep the party going. So we're going to see, guys. But yeah, we did it. We did it, y'all. And I ain't done with these folks because, it's some more whining. I got another whole clip of them just going just crazy, berserk. And I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have fun at their expense. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Don't forget, hit the like button on the way out. And also, don't forget, text MAGA to this number, 330-974-4607. If you want to support the channel, you can go ahead and check out Kevin's Corner store, or you can just simply donate through my Cash App or my PayPal. Man, I done stripped my voice up here laughing and, talking about these people. I got the porcupine in my throat, starting to sound like Whoopi Goldberg. All right, but other than that, I'll be back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Now I need to go and get me some food. But hey, with this raspy voice, I still got bass. Talk to y'all tomorrow. God bless. Let's get out of here. It's a celebration. Celebration, y'all.
This is awesome.
I know you see the apes. I know you see the way we tear up the place. Yeah. Take care.